The forest floor was a tapestry of damp leaves and gnarled roots, each one seeming to grab at my ankles. I was lost, utterly and completely lost. My phone had died hours ago, and the trail markers had vanished, swallowed by the encroaching twilight. Panic, cold and sharp, was starting to prickle at the back of my neck. I cupped my hands around my mouth. "Caleb!" I shouted, my voice swallowed by the immense, indifferent silence of the woods. My brother was supposed to be waiting for me back at the trailhead. He'd know I was missing by now. He had to. Then, a faint reply drifted through the trees. "Sarah, over here." It was Caleb's voice, no doubt about it. Relief washed over me so intensely my knees felt weak. I stumbled towards the sound, crashing through undergrowth. "Caleb, I'm coming," I yelled, my heart hammering with gratitude. "Sarah, over here," the voice called again, closer this time. I broke into a small clearing and saw him. A figure stood with his back to me, wearing Caleb's red flannel shirt and his worn-out hiking boots. But something was wrong. His shoulders were too broad, his legs too long and spindly. The proportions were all off, like a poorly stretched photograph. "Caleb," I said, my voice barely a whisper. The relief was gone, replaced by a creeping dread. The figure didn't turn. "Caleb?" It repeated in a perfect imitation of my own questioning tone. My blood ran cold. That wasn't Caleb. I started backing away slowly, my breath catching in my throat. "I'm coming," it said, this time mimicking the hopeful cry I had shouted just moments before. Its voice was a flawless copy, yet utterly devoid of life. Then it began to turn, but it didn't turn like a person. Its torso twisted a full 180 degrees, the sound of popping cartilage and stretching sinew echoing in the quiet clearing. Its legs remained facing away from me. Where its face should have been, there was only a smooth, blank expanse of skin, like an unfinished mannequin. As I watched in frozen horror, a mouth began to form, a wet, lipless slit that stretched to wide across the blankness. Then, a single, mismatched eye bubbled to the surface, blinking slowly. "Over here," it rasped, its new mouth struggling with the words. That's when I noticed the others. Peeking from behind the ancient oaks and mossy boulders, more figures stood watching. Some were tall, some short, all grotesquely proportioned, all wearing the faded clothes of lost hikers. Their blank faces were all slowly, silently, turning towards me. They were all mimics. I tried to scream, but the sound was strangled in my throat. I turned to run, but they were already moving, gliding between the trees with an unnatural speed. One of them reached me, its hand, cold and smooth like polished stone, touched my cheek. A jolt, like an electric shock, shot through my entire body. I felt empty, a hollowed-out shell. I looked down at my hands, but they were no longer my hands. They were pale and featureless, the lines and calluses of my life smoothed away into nothing. My identity, my memories, my very self-it was all being siphoned away, drained into the creature beside me. I watched as the mimic that touched me began to change. My face, my exact face, blossomed onto its blank canvas. My worried expression, my brown eyes wide with fear, my hair tangled from the hike. It was me, a perfect copy. It smiled my smile, but its eyes were ancient and empty. It turned and began to walk, stepping into my hiking boots, adjusting my jacket. It walked out of the clearing, heading back towards the trail, its steps confident and sure. "Sarah, over here," it called out, its voice my voice now full of life and relief. I was left behind, a blank canvas in a forest of forgotten faces, watching my replacement walk back to the world I had lost. Thank you for watching.